beautiful woman found out her husband was cheating on her. She made a decision that was different from every other woman in the world. She took out a pot of homemade red paint, poured a few drops on the cabinet, and spilled the rest on the floor. Next, the woman creates a palm print of being dragged away by force. Just when you think it's over, the woman starts cleaning up the crime scene, so much so that she leads the police to suspect that it's been cleaned up by the killer. Then the woman creates a murder weapon with paint on it. She threw it in the fireplace and burned it briefly, so a husband impulsively hurts his wife, and then disposed of the crime scene in a panic. She created the perfect illusion. She wanted to destroy her husband once and for all. In order to carry out this revenge perfectly, the woman was very well prepared. She read a lot of crime books and criminal cases. After making sure there were no loopholes, she began to make frequent contact with the neighbors, and she frequently revealed bad information about her husband's poverty and violence. Then she maxed out her husband's credit cards, and led him to buy himself some high-dollar insurance. The ultimate beneficiary was her husband. After the motive for the crime was concocted, she planned to create a vulnerable status for herself. Pregnant women are the most vulnerable people in America, so she tried to collect the urine of her pregnant neighbors, and then intentionally went to the hospital, leaving traceable signs of pregnancy. But that wasn't enough. She wrote 300 diary entries in the shortest time possible. From the beginning of their fairy tale love to the annoyance and alienation after marriage, even the imaginary domestic violence of her husband. After completing these fabrications, she threw it into the fireplace once again. It burned for a while, but it didn't hurt to see what was inside. So when everything was ready, after making sure her husband was out of the house, the woman wore gloves and broke the coffee table. She began to set up the perfect crime scene, leaving enough holes to arouse suspicion. Then the woman disappeared in her car. She changed her face and went to a different place. After the woman disappeared, as she expected, the police found a lot of clues: the journal, the murder weapon, and so on. Nick had been convicted of hurting his wife.